complete loss as to. We'll take a short break here.
It's not happening right now. You're here. Want to get your draw? Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, take a minute. Okay. How quickly after something like that do you come back into focus and get the buzz out of your head?
Pretty quickly. It takes a little while with the fading in, and sometimes hearing comes back first. Sometimes.
Borderline personality disorder is something that you guys wouldn't even. I mean, like y'all. I'm sorry. You wouldn't be able to imagine how. God forgive me. I'm going out. You would not be able to imagine how ridiculous it can make people act. The pseudo seizures it can give, allegedly, in my opinion. I have seen it all. Okay, so please forgive me when I crack up at this. There's a quick moment from Dr. Phil where there's a guest who apparently needs to have an exorcism on Dr. Phil. She has episodes 20 times a day.
Sometimes visual, but once I'm back and get sat up and take a couple breaths, I usually do okay. Anxiety's still a little high, but that'll cool down here, I hope.
I'll calm you down.
Yeah, okay.
Just to clarify, Phil, if we're wrong, so be it. If you can help her in any way.
It's not as if we want this to be what we
to be the way she.
Exactly.
I think there's a pattern and a rhythm here, and I think this is very real to you, what's going on. And I think you guys have done what you felt like you were left to do. And logically, you say, well, if it's not that, then why do I get better when they do the exorcisms? Well, because you're supposed to, and you believe that, and
Dr. Phil's a G because he's right about everything that he's saying. I hope I can find the longer version of this episode. But right off the bat, I want you to know this is totally raw. I've not watched this at all. Right off the bat, what did I start doing? I started laughing at Dr. Phil. This is why I can't take borderline personality disorder, because you have to pretend with them that, like, good job, they did the thing with the jaw and you're okay now. But let's talk about kind of what brings this on. And listen, I know this feels real for you, and you know, you're supposed to feel better afterwards, and that's why you feel better, and it works. I'm more of the broad, like, look, you don't know how long you have left on this. Drop a comment below if I'm too mean. I'm more of, and I don't laugh when I say it, I just say, listen, okay? You are worth it. At least I start with that, and I say, you're worth it. You are worth living and not existing. You are worth living and not making security situations for yourself, security blankets, if you will, where you miss out on life. You don't need to do that. But I got to tell you, life will move on without you. Maybe I'm the bad guy.
and thank God you did. I mean, it gave her a couple of years of relief. Then
hold on, because I think I still have it on fast settings, and he's okay. It is normal playback. I didn't know if it was okay.
Hell, do it again if you want to. It's okay with me. What you do, what works, you know. And if that's your symbol system and that's what works in the short term, that's fine. But then you are left with what we are left with, which are the same symptoms you had before you started. And I'm just telling you, none of your symptoms are unique. They're not unique to demon possession. They're really kind of garden variety for anxiety and loss of contact with reality at times. And the reactions that you're having that we've seen on tape and here, frankly, are not in the top 100 that I've seen, and it doesn't even make the hit parade. I mean, it's not really very severe. It's very debilitating for her, for you, but it's not like, wow, that's radical, which means it's very likely to respond to the right kind of treatment. And you know what? You don't treat it once or twice or for a week or a month. You treat it until.
Okay, so coping mechanisms is what he's talking about here. And I just want to see if I can, because like something like this needs to be, because we need to find out what's going on. So demon, because like what is going on, right? Like what that was again was a case of borderline personality disorders. Now, hold on. Meet the exorcist who claims he expelled demons from Dr. Phil Guest. I mean, are we serious?
When you were here before, you didn't have the title doctor before. You were just Reverend Bob Larson. But now it's Reverend Dr. Bob Larson?
Correct.
What is the doctorate in?
Doctorate of Divinity.
Uh-huh.
I can't stand everybody. I see people I see attention-seeking behavior everywhere. A doctorate in divinity? Why are we even giving, like, who was the Marxist who came up with that title for someone? Who was the moneymaker? Seriously. Who was it? It wasn't a Christian. I don't think that you should get something called a doctorate in divinity. I don't think that you should pay a school a heavy loan, take out some heavy loan to get a doctorate in divinity.
And when did you have time to do that?
Very busy guy, but I do a lot of writing and I do a lot of studying, and I've been working on this for a number of years now since I last saw you.
What seminary did you go through?
Well, I did online study and by correspondence, and was able to complete it that way because I don't have the ability to just sit one place at one time.
Yeah. You say you've done 40,000 exorcisms?
Over a career of 40 years, yes.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how mental health treatment can now become a diagnosis itself. Okay? Where solutions is a diagnosis. This person is telling you that they've done over 40,000 exorcisms. No, I don't believe them. Do I believe that people can be possessed? Yes. Do I believe that he did 40,000? No, I don't believe him. I don't.
Is it expensive to get one?
Well, people can come to our seminars. There is no obligation, no charge for anything. Now, if they want to get our services and I'm in a city somewhere and I have to fly there and set up, yes, there is a suggested donation for that.
On your website, you don't list doctor on your website. You should update that.
We're updating a lot of things on our website. We're just trying to stay up with what we're doing.
Because
Doctor would be something that I would update immediately. Let me tell you something. When I became an RN, you better believe it was comma RN. It wasn't still comma LPN. I mean, I love my LPNs. I learned more as an LPN. But again, why wouldn't you update doctor?
on your website, you say that it's $495 for an in-person encounter.
That's correct.
$395 for a Skype.
Correct.
And $295 for phone.
Correct.
So you can do an exorcism on the phone?
Well, it's not as good as in person, but
Yeah,
for some people,
I don't know. I'm asking.
sure, I can do, but it's,
Educate me
it's
here.
not the best, but we do what we can because some people can't make arrangements to travel to see us.
Okay. And
Okay, so let's see what the so-called exorcism that he must have did for this kid here, who's God, sorry. Okay.
With Victoria, we did get slight demonic manifestations, but at one point, the evil spirit said, this isn't going to work, basically, because she's doing this for Thomas. So she wasn't doing it for herself as an act of her own faith.
who spoke to you during Thomas's exorcism? He's drawn some of his demons. Who actually spoke to you during that exorcism?
Well, the evil spirit spoke through him and talked about how his ancestors had performed these terrible blood sacrifice rituals, which had given them generational embedment in his bloodline to bring about his possession.
Or we could just give him some Zyprex, allegedly, in my opinion, and he'd be fine. Anyway, okay, let's go with the Dr. Reverend Divinity. Okay. I'm a Christian, and I can tell you that a lot of this is just someone using somebody's real mental health issue and capitalizing off of it. I've also seen possession, too.
And then he started kind of slithering and hissing.
After I've done so many thousands of exorcisms, the possibility of suggestibility is always there with the individual, but it's never there in my behalf. You don't have to suggest the reality of demonic possession when you go through the violent confrontations we have with people who, under every other circumstance, according to family and friends, even spiritual mentors, are completely normal.
But is that suggesting, or is that just calling the demon out?
The demons have to be brought forward. Sometimes I don't even say anything. I sit down with a person and we begin a session, and I've had them jump out of a chair and assault me without my saying anything.
Wow, because hot take. Oh my gosh, you had a crazy person act crazy. You should have had your Haldol, Ativan, and Benadryl on hand. Allegedly, I'm not writing scripts. Okay? Bye. Like, are you serious? What am I doing? No, I need, because this is wrong. Like, this guy's making buku bucks off of lies. I would not do something like this, by the way. I just need to know how to market my message just a little bit better or something. But this guy, like all the hissing, it's attention-seeking behavior. I've seen possession in 2 clients, but I'll tell you about one. You could see it in his eyes. You could tell that something else was inside of him because he couldn't keep up with you when you spoke. He would stare at you and wait for his mind to clear up and then answer. It was like nothing I'd ever seen. You can sedate a person who's in that position. Allegedly. I have to say all that because YouTube's going, misinformation, disinformation. There's receptors in the mind that can be binded with medication that you can kind of calm things down and then whatever. I've seen it a couple times. And when I saw it, I didn't go to the doctor and say, that person's possessed. I just knew. I was like, oh, this is possession. I could tell. It was 2 times only. I've been a nurse for 15 years. I only saw it 2 times. This one did 44,000. You missed me with it. But guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what y'all think. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.